Jefferson County, 43952, Steubenville, Ohio.
7 years of hardship, seen enough.
Steubenville.
7 years of bullshit, observed enough. 7 years of melodrama, burned enough. Seen a lot of sloppy cats bite the dust. 7 years of hardship, seen enough.
Steubenville.
7 years of bullshit, observed enough. 7 years of melodrama, burned enough. Seen a lot of sloppy cats bite the dust. 7 years of hardship, seen enough.
Steubenville.
7 years of bullshit, observed enough. 7 years of melodrama, burned enough. Seen a lot of sloppy cats bite the dust. 7 years of hardship, seen enough.
Steubenville.
7 years of bullshit, observed enough. 7 years of melodrama, burned enough. Seen a lot of sloppy cats bite the dust.
The Black experience in America. You are invited in to comment and dialogue with us as we search for peace, knowledge, and wisdom in a world that seems to operate without it. What we ask of you is to subscribe to our channel and help us grow. Also, share its channel with your friends and family. Hitting the like buttons helps us with knowing what kind of content you like and what we can do better. Buckle up for a great show.
Thank you guys much for coming in. We're here at Peace, Knowledge, Wisdom. This is on the Mac TV platform where we try to look at the Black experience in the Ohio Valley and in our nation through the eyes of Black folks and whoever want to sit down and talk with us. And we try to unpack all the different issues that we have in our community while celebrating our community as a whole. And again, we want you to subscribe to the Mac TV network on YouTube. Also, you can catch us on Facebook, also on Instagram. And tune in to all the content that we have on Mac TV. This is the Peace, Knowledge, and Wisdom show. And again, I'm going to have another dynamic talk with a fellow Steubenvillian, Ohio Valleyan, whatever words you want to use. But we're going to talk about a lot of issues, and we're going to let the conversation go where it will. Again, you want to subscribe to the Mac TV network. You want to like the content, and you also want to share this with all the people that you know, friends, family, and then also hit that notification bell so that whenever we drop a video, you will get notified that we just dropped some new content. Also, be looking out for Chuck Lee on Mac TV. Check out Mastermind Manifesto and Greg Roby on his preachings and teachings. And again, check out the Mac and Jet show, of course, on Mac TV. No further ado, I want to introduce you to Mr. Kenneth Thomas, otherwise known, formerly known as Ken. And we're going to find a lot about, Ken, and then get into Mr. Thomas, if we can, because I believe just how you said that there's been a lot of road that you've covered. And we want to talk a little bit about that road and some issues within our community and go from there. So good having you.
Good to be here, bro.
Okay, so tell us about yourself and anything you want to add and let all the people know.
Well, yeah, like you said, known throughout Steubenville as Ken. Spent a good amount of my childhood here, between here and Virginia, Newport News to be more specific. So I was raised between both. I used to come back to Steubenville like Christmases. Summers and Christmases,
right?
You know what I'm saying, to spend with my dad until I was about 16. I moved back here full time. 16 to 17, moved back here full time. Graduated from Weir High. What
year was that you graduated? If you don't mind.
I graduated in 91.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So I'm an old man.
Yeah.
I
know that.
Yeah. So I'm pretty much known. I know a good amount of people here in Steubenville. A good amount of people know me. Right. You know what I mean? Grew up with them. I say grew up with them, but a lot of people that I know from like I said, my childhood. We moved to Virginia when I was, I think, 8 or 9.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So went to Garfield up until then. Okay. You know what I mean? So I knew
Panthers.
Yeah. So I knew T. Terry and all them. So you might know my cousin Euless.
Oh, Euless Allen. Euless Allen, yeah.
So my cousin Euless, I used to hang with him all the time, and everybody that knew him, you know what I mean?
Knew you.
Oh yeah, knew me, and we used to be over Travis in those house all the time.
Okay, Jackson.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool, all them. Yeah, that was his little crowd he used to run with. So, you know, T and all them.
Yeah, they're my boys because I grew up on Hill Avenue.
Okay. Yeah.
And so them all them as they grew up, we would play on the playground. They was all athletes.
Yeah.
Athletes, and you know, so I'd watch them, you know, especially T and Ryan.
Yeah.
You know, them and then Cool and
Yeah,
Travis.
I used to be on the playground with Ryan.
Yeah,
Ryan
yeah.
was my God.
Boom, you know, Chris Snyder.
Yeah,
Boom.
yeah.
So that was a good area.
Yeah.
You know, the older guys, Anthony Spinner,
Mhm.
Chris Thompson, Romp and Stomping Chris Thompson.
Yeah.
Used to call him. Them older guys was all around there. And, you know, it was a good area.
Yeah, man. This Ohio Valley, man, you know, produces good stock.
For sure.
You know what I mean? This Ohio Valley produces good stock, man. Good people, good men, good women.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Strong, independent.
Oh yeah.
You know, there's no place that we can't thrive. There's
Yeah.
no place that you're gonna put us on God's green earth where we're not gonna come up.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I feel that, and I know that's the Steubenville bloodline. That's if you from here, if you could go anywhere.
That's true.
And meet somebody from Steubenville, and they're gonna feel the same way.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's like this in other small towns or other small cities or whatever, but I know here we probably got to me, I feel like me and my wife talk about this all the time because she's from here too.
Okay.
The Steubenville is like we got the arrogance like no other, man.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like our arrogance and just, you know, from where we from and how proud we are to be where we from is like, man, you can't, you know, it's like a chest thumper. You know what I'm saying?
It is. And unfortunately for me, and I just say it, I'm going to say my piece, is that I hear that, I understand that, I feel that, I've lived it. You know, I know these people, I know us, I know you. That's why it's so disheartening for Steubenville to be the way it is.
Yeah.
Within the Black community.
Yeah, especially
from knowing the stock, you know what I mean? Knowing the stock that you just talked about, the families that you can recite, the people that we can recite, the good times that we can recite. How are we not farther along? How are we not farther along than than this? And so again, we're gonna get into some of that. We're gonna get into some of that, but I just wanted to stop you there because I love the way you said that.
Yeah.
Because you don't live here now.
No, I don't.
You don't live here now, and so you remember what you grew up and where you came from.
Yeah.
And you did not tell one lie.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you. But I just wanted to park there because we'll probably come back to it.
Okay.
So go ahead and finish. So where are we at now? You said you grew up here. You about 16, 17.
Yep.
Graduated from We're High. Okay.
Yep.
Go from there.
I ended up how I ended up getting into what I was getting into. You know, there was, I guess, probably like, I ain't gonna say most kids, but for myself, you know, I come from a good family, good stock, but didn't really have no real direction on where I wanted to go. You know what I mean? What I wanted to do with my life. I wasn't great in school. I wasn't bad in school, but I wasn't great either. So, you know, I don't know if college would have been an option. You know, hindsight is 20/20. So I may have, you know, could have went to college or could have done something different. But you know, that thing on the street was calling.
Oh,
you
man.
know, and I caught that bug. And you know,
let me ask you something, but I don't want to make anything frivolous.
Yeah.
And I know you're not due to time and everything, but describe that thing calling. Is there a way, have you ever thought of what is that?
Well,
it's something we all know.
Yeah.
Or a lot of people know.
Yeah.
Kind of just describe it a little more. What is that thing the streets were calling?
Well, I don't think it started with Steubenville, you know, because what I knew from Steubenville was, you know, north and south ball games.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You know, people walking up and down 7th Street. I remember, you know, the girls pushing the baby strollers. It's, you know what I'm saying? Ball field packed. You know, it was always jovial. You know, you could smell the marijuana in the air. You know what I mean? It was
kind of
always,
like the Fresh Prince, his summertime.
Yeah, man.
Like
it was
you could do a rap about the
summer
times in Steubenville, traveling from the north, south end, walking 7th Street or 6th Street all the way from one end to the other was a thing.
Me and my brother used to love coming back home, man, because it was so much love. You know what I'm saying? Like my Uncle Dan, we'd get up 1 o'clock in the morning, go get some DeCarlos. You know what I mean?
That's right.
DeCarlos stay open all night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get a couple slices of pizza. And it was just like my grandma used to leave her door open.
Right.
You know, anybody can walk in and out. You know what I'm saying? Bookman and all, the Booker twins coming up. You know what I'm saying? I ain't
Oh,
telling
yeah.
nobody, but you
Oh,
know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Doing
No,
all
no,
that,
I know
man.
what you mean. We all know that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. So you
Yeah.
know, it was just the like you use that word culture. The culture of Steubenville was so much different back then. You know what I mean? And I think my journey started when I was living in Virginia.
Mhm.
You know, and it's weird when I think about living, when you think about your life and compartmentalizing your life. And if you think about your life, you probably can see yourself living probably 2 or 3 different lifetimes.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's how I look at it. I lived 2 or 3 different distinct lives.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And it's weird to say. I had a life in Virginia because I was raised there, but I also was raised here. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I got a group of friends. You know what I'm saying? I went to school. I went to high school there. You know, in Virginia. I got a group of friends there that that are still my friends to this
Right,
day.
right.
That knows nothing about Steubenville.
Yeah,
You know, other than what I tell them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in Virginia, I'm the kid from Ohio.
Okay. Yes.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
So, you know, just growing up there, we lived on 25th Street, right?
Okay.
And 25th Street was, my parents were probably lower middle class.
Okay.
Right. So we wasn't in the hood, but we wasn't far removed from it.
Right.
We 1 block up from it. So we lived on the bank of houses, but the projects is right here.
Right there. Right.
You know what I mean? But the projects is where everything is happening at.
Exactly.
All my friends, I get off the bus.
So this is where you're getting your taste of
the street.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I don't necessarily call it the streets, it's just kids being kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know, in Newport News, they had so many different projects.
Yeah.
You had probably 7, 8 projects just in a vicinity, right? And you couldn't really go to nobody else's spot.
Project. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Without getting tested or
Yeah.
without who you coming to see? Where you from? You know, and we used to beef.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We used to beef. So, you know, people used to get into it. Fight one
Now,
on one.
knowing that when you would come back to visit here,
Mhm.
and then when you came back to live here, because we had a little bit of that, nothing to that extreme.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of north end, south end type stuff.
Yeah.
Hilltop.
Yeah.
But it would be more pronounced in a black and white way.
Mhm.
I remember when you was on the south end, you didn't go down on Lincoln Avenue necessarily.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't go out the West End.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they definitely didn't come in our area.
Right.
And not necessarily because it was known that you couldn't.
Right.
As much as if you live out there and you come down here, what you get is what you get.
Right.
Vice versa.
Right.
You know, unfortunately, and this may seem like, I say what I want to say. Us going out the West End, we wasn't necessarily scared of them as much as we scared of police.
Right.
Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like you're going to get harassed by the police.
Yeah, that's everywhere.
More than you worried about being harassed by the that you might meet there. But go ahead.
Yeah.
So then you get back here.
Mm-hmm.
You graduate from Weirton. What happens then once you graduate?
I get kicked out of my crib.
Okay.
I get kicked out of the house.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So I guess because I wasn't producing, I wasn't doing nothing.
Okay.
You know, you got to go, man.
You weren't producing at the house.
Yeah.
Were you producing in the streets?
At the time, and I think that's what got me kicked out. My dad found a gun in my room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my pops found a gun in my room.
Okay.
You know, a little bit of money. And you know, I guess him and my stepmom had a conversation, and it was,
Is you having a gun, the reasons you have a gun and whatever you're doing in the streets, does your pops in any way associate it with Virginia?
Well, I came down here.
Do you associate it with
Well, the
Virginia?
reason why I came down here is because I got shot.
In Virginia?
In Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Yeah. That's soon as I got shot in Virginia, shot in my shoulder. And my mom put me on the first thing smoking down here to live with my dad.
So the Fresh Prince.
Yeah, basically. Basically.
Okay, you got trouble. So my mom sent me to Bel Air, to Steubenville, Ohio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know if she felt like she couldn't, because my stepdad was in the house.
What kind of kid were you though? I mean,
I wasn't a bad kid.
Okay, so it wasn't necessarily a discipline problem as much as finding yourself being involved in things.
But I wanted to. But and when I look back at it, I wasn't a discipline problem because I stayed in school. Right. I was in ROTC. I ran track for ROTC. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I was in the band. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I was a good kid.
But the streets were calling.
Yeah.
Peer pressure was calling.
Grew up Muslim. You know, my
Oh,
parents.
okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, my parents are Muslim. All my brothers and sisters
okay.
are Muslim.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I come from a good family. I come from,
yeah.
you know.
And I didn't necessarily doubt that. What you're saying though is you come from a good family, meaning that's not an excuse.
No, it's not
For
an excuse.
what you were doing was still just
Me wanting to do, me
just
wanting
experimenting,
me wanting
peer
to be out
pressure.
there. It wasn't even really peer. I ain't gonna say peer pressure. It was just me wanting to. That's where the fun is at to me, because where I grew up in where I used to hang out was called Walker Village.
Okay.
Right. And if you knew anything about Walker Village is like, in the apartments, they got windows that you can stand up, you can slide the window, and you can literally stand up in the window.
Yeah.
And they had this dude named June J.
Okay.
And everybody from Walker Village to tell you, they know June J put a speaker in the window, and he had a whole square rocking.
Yes.
He up in there, you know what I'm saying, DJing, and he had a whole square.
And that's where you wanted to go.
Oh yeah,
and that's where everybody wanted to be.
Ain't no secret.
And whatever was happening there,
that's what was happening. And
we
had house parties. You know what I'm saying? You go up in there, have house parties. They just move the furniture, and we just get up in there and kick it. I mean,
understand. That would be no different than Billy Jam pulling up at the ball field, playing this music.
Yeah,
and that's what the North End field was. All around it. The Legion was there. The different place was there, and that's where everything was happening. And so you didn't necessarily you still trying to do your right thing, but you still dipping and dabbing in that. And somehow you get shot. Your mom decides to send you here. You still got that mentality of needing to have a gun from that, or did you find yourself getting involved in things that you felt you needed a gun?
I mean, if you in the streets and you feel like you need protection, you feel like you're gonna do what you need to do to protect yourself. If you got something that need to be protected, you're gonna protect it.
Okay, we'll get into that. What did you need to protect?
Whether it's your wife,
what did you
your
need
son,
to protect?
your kids,
but you wasn't married then.
No.
So what did you need to protect?
I need to protect my product.
Okay, so you need to protect your product. So you're in the game. Your friends got guns?
No, I don't know. I was living in Weirton at the time. So
living in Weirton.
Yeah. So what I was doing, my little hustle was I had one of my buddies from Weirton. He would drive me to Pittsburgh.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So he'd drove. I pop out of my window at night. He'd pick me up. We drive to Pittsburgh. That's why I had my little joint.
But you go to Pittsburgh to do what?
To cop. Yeah. So I go to Pittsburgh to get my stuff.
So you got your connect, so to speak.
No, I wasn't even really a connect.
Listen,
bruh. Yeah, I was just out there like that. It wasn't even a connect. I just go up there. Who got? That's why I had my joint.
Yeah.
Who got work?
And then you bring it back here.
Yeah. And then I pop over to Steubenville.
I see.
Get my thing off. So the gun I had wasn't necessarily for people here in Steubenville, because I knew everybody in Steubenville. But it was for when I go to Pittsburgh to do whatever I needed to do. Make sure I don't get.
How does that come about?
What you mean?
That way. Were you also, did your friends know you were doing that?
I don't know. Probably.
But you had friends who might have been in the game also, right?
Yeah.
But they were in the game here.
Yeah.
My thing was
when I was in when I was in Virginia, it was never a thing.
Yeah.
I probably even popped into the game kind of late.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I probably popped into the game kind of late, because I know before the crack thing started popping off, people were selling coke.
Yeah.
Just regular coke.
Isn't that something?
And I used to see them, and listen, I remember coming here and seeing probably one of the youngest hustlers I seen in my day, and probably one of the best ones was Deron.
Okay. Oh, man.
Yeah, that was he used to just do it young.
I know.
You know what I mean? And I used to, when we used to go drive by the Legion, and they'd be right there on the corner of the Legion. My dad was like, "I better not see you out there, never."
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, man.
I think about, you said the name. I ain't talked about him in a long time, but I just remember. Yeah, I remember he was young, like
doing it. You know what I mean? And so
so there's, the reason I say that is that I've always been purposely naive to that.
Yeah.
Known people around me.
Yeah.
Don't ask questions.
Yeah.
At that time.
Yeah.
I was doing something I was doing, didn't want to be, but I don't disrespect or not respect people. Treat them that way. I can treat people the same way no matter what they're doing. I don't need to have a judgment. I'm anti-drugs.
Yeah.
I'm anti guns and all that type of stuff.
Yeah. I wish I
However, well, yeah, but however, me and you sitting here today,
Yeah.
you know, and you got a different story to tell.
Yeah.
And that's the key, that you have a different story to tell, and that you can look back on it, say what it was, and say there's a way out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Even if you had to go the hard road. So let's get into your hard road.
For sure.
So the gun was the start of the things. Basically, you got kicked out.
Yeah.
What did that lead to happen?
Well, I ended up coming over here.
Mm-hmm.
So what it did is push me right into the thick of the thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because when I left at least when I was in Weirton, I had to kind of find a way to, you know,
to not make sure
to
do right and
to come back and, you know, because I was working when I was living in Weirton.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I
Where were you working at?
A little McDonald's job.
Okay.
You know, through high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when my you know, my stepmom, you know, basically left a note on the table, say you got to go. And I called my dad, was like, just go stay with grandma until we figure it out.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And that's where you went?
No.
Oh.
I went to live with my aunt Tanya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my aunt Tanya let me do whatever I wanted to.
Yeah.
My favorite aunt. I'm not going to grandma's, I'm going to Aunt Tanya's.
Okay.
Yeah, so I go to Tanya's and it was up from there. I kicked the door in from there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it was full time now, because I ain't got no job. I ain't got no money. I can't do nothing else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I did.
So is that harder work? Meaning, and when I'm saying putting the work in, the grind, meaning when you say it was over from there, you was just doing everything you were doing, but just at a higher rate?
At a higher level,
At a higher level, higher rate.
And just learning, you make mistakes. You make mistakes with everything when you try to learn it. Nobody taught me the game.
Is it scary?
What you define scary?
I guess I didn't mean scary. I guess I should say, were you always looking over your back, or were you naive? This is just a game, and I'm naive that this is what's supposed to happen.
Well, I think some naivety goes into everything, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you have no knowledge of what you're doing, right?
Okay.
Or
so you don't have no peer or mentor right now either.
None.
You're just getting into
zero.
Man.
Yeah. So I just jumped into it.
Is that common that you're aware of?
No, I mean,
most people put people on, so to
speak. Yeah. But you could put somebody on and still not
tell them what they need to know.
Tell them nothing. You could
just go get this money.
Yeah, you could be a dad. You could be there and be present and still be absent.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's the same token. I could give you something and tell you to move out on it, but not show you how to move.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, being a dad, you could be present and not be actively present.
Right.
So it's almost like not being there.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Yeah. So no, ain't nobody teach me the game.
Okay.
I pretty much taught myself.
So you're up at a higher rate. So you go to move there in 10 years. How old are you now? 18, 19, 17, 18?
Probably about 18.
Okay. Now
18,
you get
19.
in the game. So you ain't working anymore.
Nah.
Okay. So you going and coming.
Mm-hmm.
Things. How far do you get? How's this ladder go?
Like at my pinnacle?
At your pinnacle or getting to your pinnacle, do you see that? How is this? Is this aspirational type of thing? No,
it's not aspirational.
It's just, or is it a day-to-day survival?
It's not aspirational. It's just day-to-day, having fun, just
get some money in your pocket.
Feeling like I'm having fun, know. And just getting money in my pocket. That's it. You know, buying, some cars and you know what I mean? That's it. You ain't really had no thoughts around. Now, I'm not saying that I didn't. Because there was a period in my life where I really felt like what I was doing was like a dead end. You know what I mean? Because I'm a thinker, man.
Yeah.
And I care about myself to the tantamount. You know what I'm saying? To the utmost. And I care about my people, and I care about what my people think. You know what I mean? And like I told you, I come from a very good family. My family is have deep roots here in Steubenville.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
They do.
And they know. Yeah. It's not hard to tell. It gets back. You know what I mean? And to know how they felt around what I was doing.
Exactly.
And I'll give you an example. One time I came down to my granddad's house. This is my dad's dad.
Okay.
Right. And he get it in a little bit. He drank a little bit, right?
Okay.
And when he gets inebriated, you can't really tell what he's saying. Okay. The only person that can tell what he's saying is my grandma Vera.
Okay.
Right.
Good.
And so I go over the house one night,
right?
And he tore up. He used to go down to what's that the little bar, the little pub they had on 5th Street, the Ionic in the
the Ionic. No, that's 6th Street.
No, that's 6th.
Ionic, the pub, the Rainbow.
No, it was right across the street.
5th?
It was right across the street from the transit center, right there.
I remember where Gaudio's used to be.
I remember we as kids, we couldn't even walk down
where
that street.
Gaudio's used to be.
Is it Gaudio's?
It
was right up from where A&P used to. Was it A&P?
No, that's 7th Street. That's up on South 7th, A&P. Yeah, Gaudio, not Gaudio's. Yeah, it was Gaudio's used to be down on 5th and Market.
What's the name of that? It was two clubs right beside each other. Well, not clubs, but two bars.
That's
right
the
beside
Ionic and the pub.
Yeah.
Then it was the Ionic. That's 6th Street.
Yeah,
actually.
6th Street. Yeah, it is 6th Street. Yeah. So he lived right down the street.
Yeah.
So he'll walk down there and then he'll walk back home. Right. So I come over one night, he tore up. Right. And I'm sitting on the couch and we, talking, but I can't understand nothing he's saying. And then clarity came, and the only thing that I could understand is you out there selling that shit, and he starts crying. Yeah, man.
And you thinking, why did I understand that?
Yeah, tore me up.
And bro. So it tears you up because there's a part of you that still know you shouldn't be, can't be, don't want to be.
Right.
But this is what it is.
That and to know how they felt around it.
Right.
You know what I mean? With them being older, you know what I mean? There's a different perspective there. And to know how they felt around it. Even my father, he never really told me, you know what I mean, how he felt, but I knew. Yeah. I kind of knew. But
at the point that you, and it's also, was there any part of it that you then have to double down on it to some extent?
What you mean?
Double down on it, meaning you guys may not like it. I don't like it. I like it, but this is what I'm doing. And
I was never that arrogant.
So were you always trying to get out?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, I was never that.
When you say of course, you mean of course because you or most people that you might know or have heard or hear people.
What you mean when I say
like? Is there a conversation like I was never in the game, but I always thought if there's this much money in the game, why not make a whole lot of money and then just get out?
Because people don't necessarily look that way. Like when you're in it, you don't think there's an end to it. Okay. You don't see the end to it.
This is just your way.
Yeah, this is just your way, and you don't think about outs. I know I didn't, and I only can speak for myself because I can't jump aside.
No, I know you can't, but then again,
so I didn't necessarily think about, well, how can I get out of this? Can save up money, start a business, do this, do that. You know what I'm saying? And try to navigate yourself out of this. That was never the. Now there was some conversations around moving out of Steubenville, saving enough money to get out of Steubenville, and then of course you get out of Steubenville, things may be different, change.
So then you would get out of it. You have enough money, you would get out of Steubenville, and then be legitimate,
so to speak, right?
Okay,
or
that
makes sense. And then there was times where I had conversations with myself, literally having conversations with myself. This is not something that I like doing. Right. I don't like, like I told you, I grew up righteous. You know what I'm saying? So I don't particularly like doing this. This is not a career option for me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You kind of feel like this was put on you. You didn't seek it.
Right. So I well, it wasn't put on me. It wasn't put on me. You know what I'm saying? It's
well, your circumstances though.
This is self-inflicted. I did this
True,
myself.
But it's still your consequences led you to this is where you're at.
Yeah.
So what it means is
everything is a choice though. Everything is a choice.
True. You're right.
Everything is a choice. Right. I chose to carry a gun. I chose to sell drugs. Yeah. I chose to do the things that I did in school to either succeed or fail. These are choices.
Anybody sit you down at all and say you can't be doing this?
No, not really.
And the reason I asked you that question is we have situations, your situation is being repeated over and over again.
Well,
and not exactly the specifics, but my point is if I know a young man, and not me now, but even somebody 30, 28, and they working every day, and they know a young man, they know a couple young men, and they in that street. Is there anything that you can say to somebody like that?
Well, yeah, you can, but whether it goes in one ear and out the other is
should you?
It just depends on who you are. You know what I mean? It depends on who you are in the relationship that you have with that person. Yeah. You know what I mean? The level of love that you have for that person. Yeah. I would, like I got nephews. You know what I'm saying? And I tell all my nephews, my story. And when I see them traveling the direction that I was traveling, I try to put something in, instill something in their head that's going to put them on another path.
So it's kind of like planting a seed more than giving a directive.
Right.
because
Exactly,
because they're not going to just do it because you say it.
Right. And they're not going, and no one's going to pivot on the drop of a dime.
Okay. I guess that's part of my
You know
question.
what I'm saying?
The other
No one's
part
going,
is
no one's going to pivot on the drop of a dime, but you try to give people a vision of what the future looks like because you've been through it.
okay.
I've been in your shoes a little bit. I walked a mile in your shoes. I can see what path you're walking.
Right.
That ain't the path you should be going on.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of, when you take a right step, take a left this way. You know what I mean? Or right turn this way, take a left turn this way, or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was my stepfather, man. We had a conversation because what I used to do, I used to go back and visit my mom, often as I could. You know what I mean? I say often as I could, but you mean
in Virginia?
Yeah, I buy a plane ticket. Yeah, I go back see my mom. I got brothers and sisters, little brothers and sisters. So I go back, and at the time, I had locks. I probably was one of the first people in Steubenville to have locks.
I love the way you said locks and not dreadlocks.
Yeah, ain't nothing dread about them.
I heard that, and I don't know if it's right or wrong because now recently I used to correct people on that because I heard a Jamaican dude talking about it.
Yeah,
and then recently I was watching, I think it was the Bob Marley documentary, one of them, and one of the Jamaican dudes was talking about dreadlocks. So I said, okay, maybe it's not as proficient, but I always thought that the proper is locks. Yeah, the word dread, like you said, ain't nothing dread about my locks.
Yeah, I mean words have
words
meaning.
matter. I agree.
They have power, right? Dread.
So you had locks.
I had locks. Yeah. So I used to I probably was one of the first people in we have to
now, did you have locks?
To credit check this.
Just have locks, or were you a Rastafarian?
No, that was later on.
Okay, all right, good.
But I probably was one of the first people in Steubenville to have them.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, to my knowledge.
Yeah,
to my knowledge. But yeah, so I used to go back and go back to Virginia.
Some people just had nappy long hair. And they
right.
Tell you they had them.
Yeah. And visit my folks, visit my parents and my little brothers and sisters, take them school shopping. Right. You know what I'm saying?
With the money you got.
Yeah.
So you coming back baller.
Oh, yeah.
You're a baller now.
A little bit.
Now what can you describe that?
Describe what?
What's a baller?
Oh, I don't know.
What was your financial situation generally? You don't have to give me. I ain't trying to do a W-2 on you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, what does that mean? You balling now? How much money you spending on them? How much money do you have cash? How much?
I mean, I could do what I wanted to do.
You just do what you want to do.
Yeah, I could do what I wanted to do.
So
if I wanted to travel.
Your liquid worth is 50,000. Upwards.
Yeah.
More, less, a little less.
It just depends on where I was at in my situation.
At what time?
Of course, like I say, as you learn, you grow.
Right.
And I have several setbacks.
Yeah.
There was times I was on the block. You probably thought I had $1 million. I ain't had nothing in my pocket.
Okay.
Because it ain't. And I used to tell all my homies this. You know what I'm saying? Listen, can't nobody count your pockets, bro. It's all on the way you look.
Yeah.
So if you look like $1 million, you're gonna be $1 million.
Yeah.
They think you got $1 million. I ain't got nothing.
I see.
You know what I'm saying? I'm working from the bottom. I might have something might have just happened or got some bad work, whatever. Because situations happen.
Yeah. How long of a period? I wanted to find out. You said you was part of 5%ers, correct? At some point.
Yeah.
What period of time did you start that?
That's when I started here in Steubenville, but I really didn't get a complete understanding until I was in.
Well, I'm more interested in the Steubenville part of it because in my mind, there's a difference.
Yeah.
Because I think in Steubenville, you get a little no different than we have gangs or had gangs or have gangs or whatever. It's not the actual gang if you was in LA or Chicago. Even they're different. But how was that evolution? And like I said, you can be as general as you need to be. I don't know how they are as far as you saying something about that. But
my first foray into it was when the guards used to come down here and they used to have us at the center.
Okay, yeah.
And they pass out the lessons.
Okay.
So that's the first time I ever seen the lessons.
So that was recruiting basically.
But here's the thing. And you could correct me if I'm wrong. I wasn't really keen to it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't catch on because I'm a thinker.
Exactly right.
So you can't give me lessons in one hand and a pack in another.
Exactly.
No, I ain't going for that.
I agree. I was going to get into that.
Yeah.
But I do know though, that's the thing that it becomes, and I'm gonna say it right now. It's to me, it's just like church now.
Yeah.
Church is an organization.
Yeah.
And it's not an organization because I say it is. It's an organization because that's what they do.
Yeah.
The church does not look like the Bible. It does not look like Jesus. The church looks like somebody went in there and we supposed to do this, but we really doing this.
Yeah.
And so you saying, I'm thinking, because you go in a church, if you actually hear some things, you want to ask the pastor, this don't seem right.
Well, yeah. And
Just like if you walked in there and you getting these lessons, you
Yeah.
say, wait,
And
I
you
got
should
this
ha-
and
and-
this,
and you should have-
righteousness and unrighteousness
Yeah,
all in the
it's
same body.
right? And you should have the ability to do that, like the church that I go to now.
Yeah.
You know, it's kingdom building.
Yeah.
You know, and my pastor will tell you, Mike Peterson, we also have a podcast, P3.
Okay, I'll look it up.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
P3 Ministries. So it's kingdom building.
Yes.
You know, it's principle based.
Okay.
So and it teaches you how to walk and talk and use the lessons from the Bible, how to use them, make them applicable to your life today.
You mean
so
in
it
your
shows
church
up.
now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So it shows up.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's what it should be. So when you went
back
in,
then, when I was with the guards,
yes,
I didn't see how this was. Only thing I seen was how I was bringing you money back.
right.
Trying to sell these crumbs.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Trying to sell these crumbs. You can't even
Yes.
sell this, man. This is crumbs.
But the learning that you're doing,
Wasn't no learning. Not to me.
okay.
But that's why
The lessons, I mean.
yeah, that's why it wasn't. That's why we had a little friction there. So I was with
Well, hold
a
on,
crew
hold
of
on,
people.
hold on. Let me just say this. Okay, so that's what you're saying, the difference between then and then when you ultimately.
You went to, yeah.
Okay.
So there wasn't no
I
learning.
got you.
It didn't even compute. I didn't even take it in
I see.
because
Okay.
it didn't make sense to me.
Okay.
Right. So me, life, the people that I was with, we rejected it.
Okay.
We felt like heck, all of us. We felt like, no, these people just coming in here, getting our money, getting the money, and taking it back to New York or
Okay.
wherever they taking it to.
I see.
You know what
Was
I'm saying?
the money considered fee tithes? Was the money considered
No, they're giving you a pack to sell. They're giving you drugs to sell.
right?
No,
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it
no,
was
they're
that.
putting you on. You supposed to make money off of
Under
what
the
they're giving you.
guise of this is 5%.
Well, I don't know if it's under the
Or was
guise.
they just happen to be 5%?
I don't know if it's under the guise of, but that's they teaching you lessons and giving you a pack. I'm not doing
okay.
that.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not doing
Okay.
that, especially when I'm not making nothing. I'm not
Okay.
doing that.
Right.
If I ain't making no money, I'm not. Listen, that's like going to a job and they telling you they're gonna give you X amount of dollars and you working, you sweating your ass off and
Yeah.
you ain't making no money. You're gonna quit.
Exactly. I agree. I agree.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna
Okay.
quit. So it was the same. It was the same principle.
How long did it take you to refuse that? Or-
Immediately.
So I mean, okay, so that didn't take long. So
No.
you got a little taste of what we that don't know would call 5% life.
Yeah,
Because that's
yeah.
just don't, and it
Yeah.
wasn't
So
not
and
that.
then I told you my parents are Muslim. So when I went back to Virginia, and this will coincide with the question you asked me: was there anybody that ever sat me down and told me?
Yeah.
Right. So my stepdad Amir, when I went back one time, you know, I'm doing this, doing that. We was in the car talking, and I told him about the lessons or whatever. He was like, "Oh man, that's bullshit. That's what I'm saying. Stay away from that, man." Woo, woo. Because he been through it. He's from New York,
Okay.
so he been
Yep.
through it before he took his shahada, became Muslim, right? And he asked me, "What you doing, man? What you out there doing?" Because I mean, you got all this money. Clearly, you doing something.
Yeah.
So I said, "Oh man, I sell a little bit of weed." He said, "Man, weed ain't generating no money like that. Weed ain't generating no what you." So I kept it real with him. He's like, Kenny, come on, man, that stuff is killing our people." And I was like, "I know, man." I said, "I know." And I said, "Now I wrestle with myself."
Right.
And I did.
Yeah.
There's conversations that I had with myself where I wrestled with myself about what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Real conversations. And he told me this, and I'll never forget it. He said, if you believe that, and if you trying to find a way out, God will give you a way out, whether it be however it comes, but it's going to be a way out. I think a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks later, I caught my case.
Yeah.
I caught my case and ended up getting sentenced to 13 and a half years in the federal penitentiary.
Man.
Yep, that was my way out. Because I don't think that I don't know that if that wouldn't have happened, I would have stopped or maybe possibly been.
Yeah. Well, you could have procrastinated in
or
stopping.
or a longer jail sentence or not physically be here.
Right.
Because I was just that far gone.
So how old are you when you caught your case?
I was 23.
So you had basically, and just for lack of what words we can use, you had a prime of about 4 years.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
about
4
years of being in the game, doing your thing, making your reputation, meeting people, doing things, living your life.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you catch a case
Yeah.
Is the case open and shut?
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay.
Yeah, for the most part, it was open and shut.
You pled innocent.
No, I pled guilty.
Not guilty, man. So you took a plea.
Yeah, I took a plea because they pulled it out of my pocket. I mean, I can't say I ain't guilty.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, they could have not never found it, and they could have still convicted you.
No, well,
I'm saying our justice system.
Well, I got caught. I got caught coming back on the train.
Okay.
Yeah, I got caught.
So you just got right in the middle. You got red-handed.
Yeah, I got caught in Philadelphia.
But obviously there was work done to be able to catch you. This wasn't a happenstance that they caught you, right?
Yeah, it was a happenstance.
Oh, so there was no case already being built against you or nothing?
There was.
Okay, but this wasn't necessarily a part of it.
This wasn't part of it. See, and there's a lot of stuff, man. This behind the scene that a lot of people don't know.
Right.
That happened to me. When I caught my conviction.
Yeah.
That they probably would, especially people from Steubenville, will be surprised to know. When I caught my conviction, there was a guy. There was a detective that used to run around Steubenville named Sergeant Adrianus.
I remember the name.
Yeah, remember Adrianus?
Yep, I remember the name.
So he got inducted to the federal he got inducted to the FBI. Okay. He used to be on a jump out squad here,
right?
Steubenville.
Like a task force,
right? A task force, and then he got inducted to the FBI.
Okay,
right. And when I caught my case, he came to Philadelphia to see me
as an FBI agent.
Yeah. I mean, I caught a federal
not
case.
As what he was.
Well, it was a federal case.
Yeah, but I mean, you said he got into the FBI. There was a time he wasn't in the FBI. Which is when we know.
Yeah.
But at the time he came to visit you, he was already in.
He would have to be. You can't come.
Did you know him before that?
Yeah.
Or you just heard the name?
Well, I knew him. Yeah, I knew him.
And he wasn't an FBI agent.
I don't know. I don't know what time frame he got in.
Okay. Because what I'm just saying is when he's coming, or you think why would he be coming?
He's a Fed.
And you're not surprised at all, saying, man, all this time he was a Fed?
No, because I knew he got inducted to the FBI.
Okay, you'd heard that. Okay,
yeah, I knew he got inducted to the FBI. But there's a lot of stuff that I could put out there that I don't want to put out.
That's
there.
Fine. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, the audience is learning a lot about this that they don't know.
Yeah,
but they're also, like you said, you're telling your story.
Yeah. So there could be. I knew a lot, man.
Yeah.
I knew a lot of people.
Right.
I rubbed shoulders with a lot of people that used to come from out of town.
Yeah.
In and out of town.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From Virginia, from New York, from wherever.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when shit hit the fan with me, they wanted to know.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So yeah, he came to see me.
And how'd that go?
It didn't.
All right, I guess that's part of what I wanted to get out.
It didn't.
Okay.
You wasted your time. You came down here for nothing.
Okay.
I ain't got nothing to tell you.
So he was okay. Because at first, when you start talking about this, I thought this was going to go a different way.
Yeah.
I thought you was getting ready to say a dude from Steubenville. You got your case outside of Steubenville.
No.
And a dude from Steubenville was on the case.
Came
to talk to you and say,
"This is
how can I help you?" or something like that.
Well, this is how I know that they was potentially looking at me and building a case here in Steubenville, because once I caught my case, they found out where I was from.
Yeah.
They
contacted
them. Why would they come up here to see me?
I see. Okay.
Why would they come up here to see?
That's what I was thinking.
You know,
why would they come to see you other than
either now hindsight is 2020. Us talking about it. Either they was building a case for me in Steubenville, right, and they knew that I
wanted to build a case off of you,
or because they would, if they had a case, they would have charged me.
Well, they wanted to build a case for somebody else off of you.
Yes, of course. That's why they came to see me. But I'm saying either they didn't just have enough to charge me with in Steubenville, but they were definitely looking at me, because why would he come to see me?
Yeah,
right. And they had some pictures of folks and stuff like that. I ain't got nothing for you, bro.
Yeah,
I don't got nothing for you.
And you had already had your case. You was already sentenced.
No, I wasn't sentenced. This was literally probably, they had me when I caught my case. They had me at this 6th and Market, it's the jail in Philadelphia called 6th and Market. They had me at 6th and Market probably 3 days. And then that's when Adrianus came. They took me upstairs. They came and got me, took me upstairs. Right. When I go into the room, he's already in the room.
Okay.
He know me by name.
I see.
He know. Listen, we used to.
You know him by reputation.
Nah, bro. He didn't jump. Listen, him, Mr. Terry, all of them. They jumped out on us down on Clinton.
Okay.
Jump out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
They used to jump out. Listen.
Okay.
We used to be down on Clinton.
Yeah.
And they both van doors pop open. You dashing, throwing, dashing. You know. So yeah, I've been through all of that.
Okay.
You know. So I know him. Yeah, I know him. I know him by looking at him. There's been a time where me and him drive by each other on right by Pelagos. One time by Pelagos, we drive by each other, look at each other like this. And he pull around, throw the lights on, pull around, pull me over. You know what I mean?
So he's there. He don't get what he wants. He leaves. You get your case. What'd you end up getting again?
13 and a half.
You got 13
so
and a
I
half.
had my it was I did my range, because they give you a guideline range, which I wish somebody would have told me that there was a crack law, 100-to-1 crack law, which nobody told me that.
What's that mean?
So you get the crack law was, if you get caught with 1 gram of crack, it's like 100 grams of powder.
Right. I knew.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't know that there was a crack. And me, I don't watch the news.
So what are you saying? You would have never been selling crack?
No.
Because of that?
No, yeah, you cook it up yourself. If I knew it, I'm gonna get exponentially more time. If I get caught with 1 gram of crack, it's like getting caught with 100 grams of powder.
You would have did what? You would have just sold cocaine?
I would have sold cocaine.
And not sold crack at all?
At all. Why would I? If I can get more time to do that.
No,
if I would have got caught with, if what I had got caught with, I would have
was cocaine,
I would have got 5 years.
At the most, so to speak.
At the most. I would have got 5 years.
Yeah, I that's another thing. It's just, like I said, I'm naive to this. I'm kind of the ignorance that I have. I assume everybody knows that.
No, I didn't.
The only reason I assume everybody knows that, because I was one of the people that would be talking about fighting that in the political realm, in the civil rights realm.
Yeah,
and
after,
what we did
after all of us, after all the black men got locked up because of
it. I think that was
and
part of the 90, that was part of the 93 bill that Clinton signed, right?
Yeah, but who?
But how long? But
who's? Listen, I'm.
No, I agree with that. What I'm saying,
watching
what I'm saying is
politics. I'm not watching the news. I don't know that.
Well,
but I would. If I'm out in the streets and my son is out in the streets, I would tap him on the shoulder, be like, son, you know, they just got this 93. They got this bill to say if you get caught with crack, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody said nothing. And I would have passed it on to my people, like, bro, listen, have a cook it up.
But hold on. Even once all that stuff started coming out, there were still people going for that same.
Yeah, because I don't know, it yields a higher amount. I don't know.
And just like in everything, whether you're in the military, whether you're in a job, the job you have now, the job we have, there's people who are knowledgeable and people who are not knowledgeable. Yeah, what you're saying is you were somebody, you already said I'm a thinker.
Yeah.
Even though I'm doing what I'm doing, I know everything I shouldn't do as much as I know what I'm doing.
Right.
That is something that if I would have,
I knew, but I wasn't knowledgeable in that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wasn't knowledgeable in that at all. But
and so you end up getting 13 and a half.
So my range was 188 to 235 months.
Okay.
So 188 is the low end of the guidelines.
Yes.
Right. So that's 15 years, 8 months, opposed to 235 months is like 20 something years.
Right.
So because of my family history, my background, things of that nature, the judge gave me the low end.
Gotcha.
Thankfully.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? He gave me 188 months.
Okay.
And I'm trying to calculate that on hands and toes, like, how much is that? Why, when I get sentenced, you know what I mean? In 13, 15 years, 8 months, I thought my life was over, man.
Yeah.
At 23 years old, I'm like, when I get, when you young, you in your 20s, you think
30s is old.
You think 40 is senior. No, you think I'm gonna be in a walker. You know what I mean? So when I got sentenced to it, it killed me, man.
Okay.
It killed me. My parents was in the courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin Brandon was in the courtroom, and it crushed me.
How much at this time is there anything saying, or is it totally 100% different than 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when you started this, knowing that you could get caught and something happened? Like you always knew that you could possibly go to prison.
Yeah,
but is it totally different than what you think and what you could do? Meaning, if you had a chance to do it all over at that time that you got sentenced, would you say, "Man, I'd have been got out of this"?
Yeah, I mean,
is that the kind of thing you're saying, or are you saying
hindsight?
I got to do my time.
Hindsight is 20/20 to everything. I mean, shit, ain't no question about that.
The reason I asked that question is for somebody that's in the game now, been in there for a year and a half, 2 years, thinking about getting in it.
Listen,
and they say, "Well, I know I might get some time because
if there's anybody in the game right now, which I told you, I got nephews, I got cousins, I got people that's they still do what they do, which I don't know how people in what is this
2024
still doing with smoking crack or whatever they doing. I don't know how after they didn't see the destruction of our community. You know what I mean?
And selling it.
Right. But if they still in it, there got to be there. You have to think about an exit, man. Yeah. You have to think about an exit because there's always options and there's always a better decision to make. You know what I mean? Because you think about it, it's going nowhere. It's a dead end job. It's a dead end career. You know what I mean? It don't go. The only thing it leads to is either death or destruction, death or prison. That's it.
Do you have kids?
I do. I have adults.
You have adults.
Yeah.
Did you have kids then?
I did.
Okay, so you got to leave your kids.
Yeah,
it's killing you. You said your mom and dad was there at your sentencing or what have you. So you go in. You're in for a year so far. What's that like? What's your mentality? What's your mode? What's your thinking at that time?
Well, when I first got in, I spent probably the first 6 or 7 months in the hole.
Okay. From
just wilding.
Okay.
Not adjusting, mentally, just emotional, not knowing it at the time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Disbelief. Yeah. Disbelief. Can't see the future, can't see no way out. I don't think that I really started adjusting to incarceration, if you can call it incarceration and adjusting, until maybe my fourth or fifth year.
Jeez. So let me. What I didn't get to you was, or what I did skip over was, when did you get your actual God's training inception or
when I got locked up, I went to, so the feds move you around a little bit.
Yes.
Right. I stayed in Pennsylvania. So they when you get sentenced, you could have them put in to whatever federal prison you want to go to.
Okay.
Right. That don't necessarily mean you're going to get it, but because you can go all the way out west.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or wherever it's available.
Right.
So they put me in I think the first place I went was it wasn't in Jersey. It was in Pennsylvania. Elkton, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I think it was either Elkton or no, it wasn't Elkton. It was it's been so long, man. I've been home more than I've been in.
Yeah, so. I was gonna say you don't need to get all of that.
Yeah, but
they moved you around.
But I was close. I was close to Steubenville.
Okay.
So I probably was only about maybe 2.5, 3 hours from Steubenville. Right. And not necessarily there. I had went to another institution where I met this brother named Unknown Silence.
Okay.
He was a Colombian.
Okay.
Right. Long dreads. His locks was longer than mine.
Yeah.
Right. And matter of fact, I met him in South Carolina, and this brother was knowledgeable, man.
Yeah.
Knowledgeable. And when I first sat down with him, we got to talking. And he, and I knew the lessons, you know what I mean? And we get to talking through them. And I seen, and there was a lot of gaps, a lot of things that I didn't know. And the reason why I didn't really pursue that is because I don't really deal with things that can't teach me real time.
Okay.
That's why I think that I kind of shunned away from Christianity. I shunned away from the Bible because I can't do even with when I was raised as a Muslim.
Right.
You know what I mean? To me, wearing, some of the rituals and practices for me, didn't seem like it held any. It felt like you was just, it didn't value to us today. It just felt like we was just doing it just cause.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I don't want to do I want to learn, how would this make me a better man, a better father, a better individual today? I need to see how it can how it can walk and talk today.
Exactly.
Right. And he showed me how these degrees, how you can correlate these degrees to your life.
Okay.
And how you can move out on them. That's what opened me up and blossomed me to the nation of God and earth. Right. But he also told me, this is a foundation. This ain't the end all and be all. This is just your keys to unlock other doors.
Okay.
Right. So you can use these degrees and you can go into Christianity. You can use these degrees. You can go into Islam. You can use these degrees because it's just math. All it is mathematics.
Yeah.
Right. Who is the original man?
Or principles.
Or principles. Who is
Yeah.
the original man? The original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker of the whole cream of planet Earth, fallen civilization, God of the universe.
Right.
We all know that.
Yeah.
That's real. That's real time.
Right.
And then when you start breaking them down, the maker, owner, you know what I'm saying? So you can make that applicable to your life.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the one thing that I always say is, and it tells you, because it'll tell you in the second degree who is the devil, and it'll tell you that the devil is the white man. Right. But that's in the 1 to 10 when you first learn in the degree.
Right.
But then when you jump all the way to the 1 to 40, after you learn the 1 to 10, the 1 to 14, the 1 to 36. So these are all questions that you got to learn. You got to learn 1 to 10 questions, the answer, the question,
right,
and the answer.
Right.
1 to 36. 1 to 14, the question and the answer. 1 to 36, question and answer. 1 to 40, question and answer. The actual facts, the solar facts. You got to learn all this stuff. Memorize it. Off top. Soon as somebody tell you what's today's mathematics.
Yes.
You got to start spitting it, right?
Yeah.
So you got to have this ingrained in you. When you get to the 1 to 40, the 1 to 10 is a student enrollment, a student being enrolled, right? So you just learning.
Yes.
But by the time you get to the 1 to 40, you should know. I don't know if it's the 37th or the 38th degree that says what is a real devil, because in the first degree it just
says the white man.
The white man. But then when you get to 1 to 40, it tells you what a real devil is, because now you should know.
Right.
After going through all these degrees, you should be able to make this stuff walk and talk. It should be applicable to you.
Right.
What is a real devil?
Right.
You know what I mean? The real devil is a thought.
Yeah. So, and when I mentioned principles, not saying this is exactly what they're teaching, but an analogy would be something like, if we look at the Bible, where it says you're reading the Bible at the beginning, you front end, and it talks about eating habits. Don't eat no unclean this, unclean that.
Pork and all that.
But by the time you become a seasoned, a mature Christian, so to speak, and this is generality, you've been through the whole Bible, and you know what happened with blessing the food.
Yeah.
And so just because you eat something, if you bless it, then it can be
clean.
Type of thing.
Yeah.
And that's what you're saying. That even though they're telling you this here, it's good for you while you're that. Just think that.
Yeah.
In other words,
well,
the white man ain't necessarily devil, but he is your oppressor. Stay away from it.
What they trying to do the same thing that Michael X doing.
Right.
Michael X. Okay. You got to change the polarity of the people, change the polarity of the thinking of the people. You got to change the mindset.
Yes. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't change the mindset, then when Michael X came in, he was telling you that the black man is God and the white man is the devil, because you want to be like him.
Yes. And so he needed to get you not to want to do that.
Not to want to do that.
And so later on, we'll talk about the specifics of that.
Right.
But just stay away from that.
Right.
I think that a lot about Dr. Umar. I watch Dr. Umar a lot.
Yeah.
And
Umar
of course, the biggest hang up with Dr. Umar always usually is the snow bunny syndrome.
Yeah.
Because there's so many black men who have white wives, white women,
16 lashes,
have had it. Yes.
Yeah.
And so the problem is that you're spitting all these facts. But what you've done is you've told me that I can't date, love, have kids with a white woman. So how can I follow you or listen to you anymore? You've already eliminated me.
Right.
Without saying that he has said at times, it almost looks like there's no redemption for you.
Right.
Because when you choose a mate, you're not thinking
color.
You're not even thinking politically.
Yeah.
You're not thinking that when he explains why he says that, he says, because who you gonna leave all your money to? Your wife, and she's white. So now you've taken your money out of your culture, out of your community, out of the black community. No, I understand that. My point is there's some logic to that. But the point is, if I didn't listen to you or no logic at all, and I've already chosen my mate, what do you want me to do now?
Right.
Like, so now I'm not in the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the diaspora.
So my point is, but I think what he's saying is we have to stop doing certain things now.
Yeah.
So that then we can figure out how to do it. So in other words, Jesus said, it was once said, do not do this, but I tell you now this.
Right.
Meaning I got to say this now so that when I give you this, you're ready for this.
Yeah.
Because if you make your choices, like for instance, like you said, if you had been taught the way you were taught the very first time you had,
I wouldn't have did it. I would have did it a different way.
You'd have did it a different way, but you've been taught something different,
right? To
have knowledge to move. And so I don't want to stay too long on that, but I kind of understand a little bit about that now because, like I told you, we made the joke with our buddies and stuff, and they was, oh, we're gods, we're God, black man is God, black man is God. And and my buddy made this joke. He said, yeah, okay, well, if you're God, go fix me a pot of white folks.
Yeah.
They couldn't do it. So we said, well, then you're not God.
Yeah.
Like that's a claim to make, that if you can't say you are, no different than when Jesus walked the earth, you say you're this, then like when the devil approached him, okay, then do that. If you turn them, if you're God, turn them, rocks to bread.
Right.
Like that. Okay, then you're not God.
Right.
Like,
Do you have children?
Yes.
You have boys, girls?
One boy, one girl.
Is your son you?
No.
Is he a part of you? Is he?
Yes.
You have? He has your essence.
Yes.
So what makes that any different than God breathing life into us?
Well, because I didn't breathe life into him.
You sure did.
How?
You.
Well, let me say this.
Yeah, you most certainly did.
I did not breathe life into him, meaning, again, I shouldn't have said it that way, because it's almost like when you read Revelation. I'm saying figuratively, I'm saying
without your
God breathed life God breathed life into Adam
Mhm.
by putting his mouth over his nose
and created
you know what I mean, and bro,
and
life. So
right,
when I said
and-
it, I'm saying
and created the effect.
I
gave
okay.
us-
I
gave-
see that,
Mhm.
except to the point is, like you said, the significance of that is then what?
What you mean?
When you said I need something that I can use, the significance of saying that he's me means that we're God.
No, I'm not saying we're God.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling you that we have the same. God gave us, and it tells you
Yes.
He gave us the same creative powers, the same dominion
Yes.
that He has over this. He gave it to us.
For us to be able to do
we
what?
create.
Okay.
Whatever you want.
Yeah. Good deal. Good deal. So if I want to make a batch of white folks, I could.
If we wanted to. Think on it hard enough. You might produce.
Yeah. So, but anyway, again, like I don't want to go there, because that's another conversation I need to have with you that we can get into, because but I want to unpack, and what I'm trying to do is unpack your thought pattern as you go through incarceration.
Mm-hmm.
You took you 4 years to kind of adjust to being incarcerated, and now what year did you go through this? You said this gentleman, he was in prison also.
Yeah, probably about my 6th or 7th year. Like I said,
okay.
I always
So
dealt with the lessons.
okay, so you didn't have it the first 4 years from this gentleman.
No, I always dealt with the lessons.
But did you feel that you had understood them completely?
No, I didn't understand them.
Okay.
I didn't start understanding them until I met.
And this is about your 5th or 6th year.
Until I met him. You know what I mean? And
so what did that do for you?
It changed my life totally.
Changed your focus.
It changed my focus. It changed, that's when, I adopted the moniker Sincere God of Law.
Okay.
You know what I mean? SYNSEER.
Yeah, what you said about your name. Yes.
Okay. And it just changed my focus. It gave me a focus of, just trying to learn how to do the right things for the right reason.
Is there a time when you're incarcerated that you think you'll never get out?
No, never.
So even when you first got in, and they said 13 years, you think,
I knew
never.
I wouldn't. Well, I thought my life was over.
And I didn't necessarily mean it as literal as that, as much as
I thought
when you got focused and you learned this, and you said it changed everything. Could you see that date more clearly, that hey, I'm getting out of here?
No.
So you still look like
because if you still got 7-8 years left, that's a long way away.
So that's how it works. You don't think about the end. It's coming, but you ain't just thinking about it
because it's so far away.
That's what I meant.
So you get into, they call it bidding.
Okay.
Yeah, they call it bid, man. You just got to get into your bid. Okay. You know what I mean? You got to bid. So there's things that you got, there's people that you get. It's just like out here. When you trying to learn when you grow, there's things that you shed, people you get rid of, do away with, things that you do away with, things that you learn throughout bidding. Okay. Like, some people bid on the phone. They call women or whoever they talk to. Some people do their bids on the phone. Some people, you know what I mean? Do prison pen pal. They got a prison pen pal website. Some people bid through that. Some people just walk.
What do you mean bid?
Bid your time. Bidding is your time. How much?
Oh, biding your time, so to speak.
No, not biding. Bid. They call it like bid. It's
what happens?
Nothing. You do your time.
Oh, okay. So you're saying part of your time you do it through
the contact that you may have outside.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
that may
that's
not
how-
be the
that
next
might-
way you
yeah.
do it. Next time he's reading books.
Yeah, yeah. So that's how you. That's
Or
how
you're
you
getting a
that's
job
how,
in.
That's how you pass your time.
I see.
That's how you
okay.
build.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
So you get into your time that way. You know what I mean? I spent my time working out.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Walking the track with my homies and just talking and just thinking through ideas and you know what I'm saying, reading and more so, playing handball, working
And so once you got the lessons down, and this gentleman you talked to,
Mhm.
it changed everything. And then how did you bid?
That was it. You
focused in on that and your thinking, your thoughts.
But like I said, you kind of not get rid of, but it's you want to stay connected to the outside world as much as possible, but sometimes you can't because sometimes it's hurtful to you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You're supposed to have expected visitors coming that don't come.
Yeah.
You got expected money that you want that don't happen. You know what I mean? So and all those things are emotional pains to you.
I agree.
So you got to figure out even like I say, out here in life, when you start growing and you see somebody always hurting you, always doing something to you, you gotta move around.
Do you have any mentees right now?
I do.
Do you? How many?
I have my pastor is one.
No, that's a mentor. Mentee.
What you mean? Who I mean? Yeah, I told you my nephews.
So your nephews right now, you're mentoring.
Oh
them.
yeah, for sure.
How closely? How
we're very close.
And so, how long you been mentoring them?
Since I've been home.
And how's it working out? Do you think?
I think it's great.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's great. Like
so, these aren't the ones that's still in the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
They still move around a little bit.
They still moving around.
Yeah.
The goal would be for them not to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the goal would be for them to be upstanding citizens, and
right.
And that don't necessarily mean work. Go get a job someplace.
No.
But let's produce.
I believe what you're saying is because my thought pattern is that's one of the things we need to do more in the community. We need to find people and mentor them, and be just like you said. Like I've asked a question. You're mentoring, I'm thinking they'd be out of it. But no, that's not how it works. How it works is when they're ready to get out of it.
Yeah.
If they turn left, you can be all the way here so that they turn back right.
Right. Well, the type of person that I am is I'm always trying to pull somebody up.
Yeah.
Right. Always. Every job that I've had, I always seek. I don't need to be the top of the top, but I ain't gonna be the bottom of the bottom either.
Right. You're always trying to progress.
Yeah, I'm always trying to progress. So as soon as I go into a situation, I want to know how I can get to the next level in that situation.
Well, let's get into that. Let's get into that. You're in your last year before you're ready to get out.
Yeah.
Let's say you're in your last 6 months. This and that. What are you thinking? And then what happens?
I can't necessarily remember what I'm thinking other than the adulation of me being home.
It's almost time.
Oh, it's almost time. Okay. So I had a cousin. You might know my cousin, Debbie Allen, Eulis's sister, Debbie.
Oh, yeah.
You remember Debbie?
Yeah.
So Debbie was a teacher at the University of Michigan.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Debbie is
so she's a professor.
Yeah, scientist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah. She was a research geneticist.
Okay.
And she bought a duplex in Michigan, right? Specifically for me when I got out.
Okay.
So I got out. Everybody was there. My mom was there. My aunt Dolores. All of them was there. Came to Steubenville, seen all my family. Instantly, rushed straight to Michigan.
Okay.
Did not want me to stay in Steubenville.
Yes.
Longer than I had to.
Exactly.
So I went to and I lived with her for probably a year.
Okay.
The first year home, and what it was she had an apartment. She had the house she bought was right on campus.
Okay.
The rent was astronomical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she had a student that was renting the apartment. Right. So she said, so you'll live with me for 6 months, then you'll go up. She's leaving. So she had it timed out, timed out. She's going to move out. You can move up to the apartment upstairs for 6 months. After the 6 months, rent going up full freight.
Yes.
Or after a year, rent going up full freight.
Yes. You got 6 months to be making enough money to pay for that.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the time she said it, you knew you wasn't doing it?
Yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm not.
But you didn't say that to her.
I might as well have, you know what I'm saying? Because listen, you go into this apartment, man. You walk up the steps, you get to the top of the landing, you can stick your hand out, touch the bathroom, stick your hand out, touch the bedroom. Small.
So you're saying for the amount of money you don't want to
I'm not paying that.
Okay, so you're not. So you're saying it more as it's not frugal.
Not being disrespectful.
Not
You're
being
just saying
no,
that it's not frugal. Yeah, I'll find something else.
Yeah, I'll do something
Okay.
different. You know what I mean? So I moved out on that. I ended up getting in school. I ended up the apartment that I lived in was a gated community, $550 a month. You know what I mean? I had a guard. You had to get buzzed up. Found a nice little spot. But it was on the border of Ann Arbor and Ypsilanti.
Okay.
Right down the street was Washington Community College. Right. So I went down to community college. What can I do to get in?
Right.
Signed up. Got a grant.
Okay.
I mean, not a grant, but what they call it when you get the
a loan or
I got basically a loan, student loan.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That I didn't have to pay back. You know what I mean?
Well, that's basically ended up being a grant.
Yeah, that I didn't have to pay back to go to school. So I went to school. I was in school working and then working. I was going to school full time and working a full time and a part time job.
Okay.
For the next 7 years.
So you was going to that community college. You was getting your associate's degree.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you get it? Finished?
I did not finish.
Okay. What was it? What were you trying to get?
Just general studies.
So general studies.
Yep,
okay.
Yep.
I see.
But I wanted to be in school.
Yes.
I wanted to do something productive. You know what I mean? So that's what I did. And I worked incessantly to try to get my life together.
This is the first year and a half you out.
Yeah.
Then what happened?
None.
What about your wife?
I wasn't married at the time.
Okay.
So I met. So me and Keita, we met back up. Her name is Marquita Franklin.
Okay.
Yeah. Me and her, we met back up through social media.
Okay.
Probably I was home maybe about 4 or 5 years at the time. And I had just made the decision to move back to Virginia because they had opened up. I was a backroom coordinator at Home Goods, right? And they opened up, Home Goods and TJ Maxx are sister stores.
Okay, yeah.
So they opened up a TJ Maxx around the corner from my mom's house. So she was like, they opened up a TJ Maxx around here. I'm like, oh yeah. So she was like, yeah. I said, okay, I'm gonna see if I can get a transfer.
Yeah.
So I did a phone interview, and the phone interview went so well. And instead of him offering me a regular team member position, he offered me a management position.
Nice.
Right. So I go into TJ Maxx as a manager.
Okay. You
know what I mean? So when I get there, my little brother at the time, he was going through some things. He moved in with me, to try to help him, kind of stabilize himself. And I think he was probably about 18 or 19 at the time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Having a tough time at my mom's house. So he moved in with me. And me and him, I got a job not only at TJ Maxx, I got a job over at the Hilton Garden Inn.
Right.
So I'm working over there, working midnight maintenance at the Hilton Garden Inn at the same time.
All this working, is it you need the money for how you want to live? You want to just keep yourself occupied?
Both.
All of that. Okay. So you're doing all this.
I like nice things, man.
Okay. This is probably still some of the discipline that you got while you were in from being starting to think better.
I just knew that I couldn't go back to the streets, and I'm going to do everything I need to do not to go back to the streets.
Is that easy?
Huh?
Is that easy?
What?
Saying I just can't do that.
Yeah, it's that easy when you make a promise. I made a promise that I wasn't going to do it to my father and to my mother.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah, that I wasn't going to do it. My father passed away 6 months before I came home.
Okay, because I know a lot of people that come out and go right back into the same thing.
I can't do it.
Okay,
I can't do it. It ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? It ain't for me. The type of person that I am, I can't do it.
Okay,
I can't have people telling me when to eat, when to sleep, when I can't do it. That's not me.
You sound like a little bit of Monday morning quarterback in here.
Yeah, what you mean?
Like now you got this strong mind. But I'm saying you've done a lot of stuff that didn't seem like you had a lot of strong mind. So what I'm saying is it that easy? Are you a lot wiser now, or have you always been that wise and you just
So
when you look back on it,
when you're young, man, you got to figure things out.
Because if I see somebody 40 years old or whatever, and they doing this to them, say like, why don't you just not do that? Change your mind and do that.
Well, that's on the individual.
Yeah,
that's on the individual. You know what I'm saying? And minds can get stronger.
Yeah,
as they go along.
So there ain't no special mix. You either that type of person, or you just that type person.
It's either in you or on you.
I got you.
You know what I mean? And you got to do what's conducive for your life and what you feel. Yeah. And what was conducive for my life, prison is not conducive for my life.
Right.
I don't want to be the guy that goes back in and out of prison.
So you wasn't one of them dudes that got in and said, I can redo it, but do it better. So I don't
know.
Okay. Because I know there's a lot of people say that too.
No.
Once I got in, I knew what I did wrong. Because
remember I told you before I went in, I was having a wrestling match with doing it anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
So it wasn't hard for me not to go back
Wasn't
to do
hard for
something
you.
that I didn't like doing
Yeah,
anyway.
especially when you already lost, so to speak. You spent there all your life.
Yeah,
Your money,
you know what I'm saying?
okay.
And I told you, like I told my pops, it's over.
It's over.
It's over. I'll never go back.
You working, you meet your wife, you get hooked up with her on social media. You guys end up getting married.
Yep.
When you guys get together, does she come to Virginia?
No, I moved to Columbus.
So you moved to Columbus because of her mainly?
Yep.
Okay, she moved to Columbus. How long ago was that you moved to Columbus?
13, 14.
You've been in Columbus for 13 years.
Yeah, me and her been married for 12 years.
Okay. And you've been married. So you've married, you've been in prison. What are you doing right now?
Right now, I am a manager at Target Distribution Center, and I own a cleaning company.
And you own a cleaning company. How did that happen? 13 years ago.
Yeah.
From a felon that sold drugs. How do you do that? Because if you've been in prison and you got a felony, you can't be what you are.
Why?
I know a lot of people that say you can't do that.
Why?
That's what I want to know. So tell us, what's some of the things that happened? How did you get that? Was it your perseverance, or is it that easy?
Well, no, it's not easy.
Okay.
And it is perseverance. Like I told you, man, listen, and there's probably not a lot of people that's willing to do what I'm willing to do.
Okay.
Like I told you, I got nephews, and I tell them, listen, bro, get a job, right? Work, and it'll lead you to something different, because one thing leads you to another.
Yeah.
Right. It's harder to get work when you don't have work. It's easy to get a job when you got a job.
This is true.
You know what I mean?
That's a great way to think.
Yeah, it's easy.
When you got a job is when you should be looking for a job.
And it's hard to get money when you don't got none.
Yeah.
It's easy to get money when you got money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One thing begets another.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
you started at Target how? Doing what?
I started at Target. When I started at Home Goods actually.
Okay.
And I started working in the back room. Just
warehouse
producing freight.
or...
No, it was a store. And they would bring in one truck, and we'll, get the, take the freight off the truck. And there was a lady, she was the backroom coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
She was in the military. So she got shipped off, right?
Okay.
And because of who I am, my personality and me, kind of running things, I transitioned
into her position.
Into her position. They was like, we need a backroom coordinator. I
You
interviewed for it. They was
did.
like, let's go.
Okay.
And I had that thing clicking.
So you got that position. How long were you? And this is with Target or with Home Goods?
This was on Home Goods.
So then you left Home Goods.
Mm-hmm.
There was a job position that came available.
Yeah. So when I moved to Columbus, I was working at when I moved to Columbus, I got a job at Verizon selling cell phones.
Oh, okay.
Selling is what I do.
Okay.
Selling is what I do.
These skills. Let's for something better now.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I used to make pretty good money working commission. Robbie Johnson?
Of course.
My guy.
Oh yeah, all of our guys.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Robbie.
So he actually helped me start my business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he actually helped me start my business.
Yeah, because I think he does that. Him and his brother got a business, don't they?
Yeah. So what happened was when I moved to Columbus, I seen, who was that? Gerald Williams' brother.
Yeah. Kevin.
I seen Kevin at the barbershop.
Okay.
And Kevin was like, Robbie worked around the corner. I said, what? So he's like, yeah, let me call him. So he called him, and he know me and Robbie was like this, right? Yeah. Robbie was like, man, what you doing? Come around here. I said, all right. And this is kind of when I first moved here. Yeah. So I go around to Robbie running this, man, he got this this palletizing company that he running.
Palletizing.
Yeah, so they fix pallets. They bring pallets
in. Fix pallets, wooden pallets.
Yeah, wooden pallets.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got 2 bays, and he got like 4 people in each bay or 2 people in each bay flipping pallets. We stack the pallets up on a
and then he sells them.
And he ships them. He takes them somewhere. I don't know where he's taking them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got 2 forklift drivers, one for each bay, to put the pallets in on a 18-wheeler. Right. Robbie would get in the 18-wheeler, fire up a cigarette. He drive the 18-wheeler himself. He run.
I need you to help me get Robbie here.
Listen,
I need you to help me get
I'll call
Robbie
him right now. He comes down.
Yeah.
But so he offered me a job. Right. I told him, I said, brother, I ain't flipping no pallets.
Yeah. And what'd he say?
He was like, oh no, I teach. You can drive a forklift. I said, I don't know how to drive a forklift. I teach you. Okay. You know what I mean? Man. He said, come down here Saturday and Sunday, and I teach you. We'll ride around on the forklift.
So let's I don't know how long we are in this. I got somebody else we need to talk to.
117. We're gonna wrap this up.
Okay.
Because we're gonna do this again.
Yeah.
And we're gonna start from here.
Okay.
Because this is the reason I want to stop here and start back here is because you got somebody from Steubenville, 2 people from Steubenville. I always call Columbus Little Steubenville. There's so many people up in Columbus.
It is. It's a lot of people.
I am privy to the story of one guy from Steubenville helping another guy from Steubenville. One got his own business. He helps this guy like that, teach him how to do some stuff. And it leads to where you said you are now, which is going to be a manager for Target distribution.
Yeah.
We need this could be duplicated.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you about the mentoring.
Yeah.
Like there's younger people under us, older people. If we would just reach out and help them.
Oh, I got ideas, man.
Okay, well, that's what we want to. We want to have guys like you start leading us. Because the other problem we have here in this area is we don't have no leaders. We have no leadership. There's no black leadership here.
Yeah.
At one time I was told I was a leader.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I'm just trying to do what I try.
No,
to
you
do.
are a leader.
Okay, and I appreciate that. But what ends up happening when you say you're a leader, if I have to say I'm a leader, which I'll acknowledge that, that means I ain't done nothing. Because we don't have nothing. You describe Steubenville in a way that's so positive. You can't describe Steubenville like that now.
Right.
You just cannot.
Right. But you're talking about.
So leadership has failed.
That well.
I ain't. Look, I'm like you.
That's two sides of a coin.
Don't
right?
give me no excuses.
No, that's two sides of a coin. So when
Okay.
you're talking about leadership, if you could grasp, if you could get one person and have them change their life, you've been effective.
True. I agree.
Yes. I feel like
yes.
Right. And you have a daunting leadership or taking on that moniker leadership. Right. That's a daunting task or a daunting job, right? It's a thankless job.
Yes.
Right. And it's like my mentor, my pastor.
Yes.
Mike, he goes after men.
Right.
And that's what he tells me. He said, I'm going after the men.
Right.
Because they are the ones that's headhunting. Right. Because they know if they can tear down the men, they can tear down the family.
For sure.
Right. So I'm going after the men and I want to teach them how to be better men. Right. And that's what he's done for me.
Yeah.
Strive to teach me how to be a better man in my community, a better man especially in my marriage.
Yeah.
Right. Because the marriage is going what produces the fruit.
Yes.
Right. So that's what you have to do, man. And don't shun it.
Yeah. And I'm not
shun the leadership.
And I don't want to, let me say this. I see
even
a
with
lot of the young men that we tried to help with our Pee Wee football team and then the organization that we had, the Steubenville Community Inc. And I see some success stories, but I see the ones that's not success too much. And then trying to say if some way we could duplicate that, knowing the mistakes or the things that we couldn't accomplish, there's nothing out there that's even generating it. So it'll be a situation where the next person to do it, we starting from.
Yeah, but you can't.
But the situation with Robbie makes me so proud. But the problem is that Robbie was starting that here.
Yeah.
Why couldn't he do that here? It's because of us he couldn't do that here. We don't support each other.
Yeah.
We get somewhere else, and all of a sudden now we say we're from Steubenville. Let's help each other.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen all the time. I'm not saying it that way because I said I want to stop this on that because I can't. I want to give Robbie his flowers.
Yeah.
You're here to get your flowers, at least from me and our community, for what you've been able to transform your life into and and your thoughts and stuff. But I'm just in the mindset I want to support us in a way that we really understand what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
We have young men who are trying to raise families, who are trying to get a job, who are trying to do things in this area. And those of us who may have already gotten to a certain level, we just let them do what they want to do. And we'll judge them. Yeah. We'll comment on what they're doing. We'll speak to them in their face, but they'll say, oh, that person's doing this and that person's doing that. We'll sit them down and do what you might say you do with them. And we need to develop that somehow.
Yeah. And, have the ability to give people opportunities.
Yes.
Right. Have the ability to give people opportunities. And like I was saying, that's what I do. That's what I've always done. Right. Anywhere I go, listen, you need a job. Let's get on. You need some work. If I had a space in my business, come out here and power wash some of these stores with me. Yeah. You know what I mean? And show them listen, this is how I did it. I had a young man from my church call me the other day and was like, I heard you was power washing. I don't have enough work right now because we're just coming out of the winter. You know what I mean? I power wash inside, but we're just coming out of the winter. Right. I said, I don't have enough work right now to put you on, but let's brainstorm some ideas, because he had him and another younger brother. They wanted to start their own business. I said, let's brainstorm some ideas where you can start your own business. Yes. You don't got to work for me. Exactly. You know what I mean? Listen, you can have a dumpster cleaning company.
Say that again. You told him what?
Let's brainstorm.
He was saying you couldn't put him on, but let's brainstorm
some ideas where you could start your own company. Yeah. You know what I mean? So dumpster washing business. You got all these Chipotle's, whatever restaurants they got. They all got dumpsters. Yeah. Who go clean their dumpster areas? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Who clean trash cans out? Or you go into these to up into these upper middle class, high end,
gated community things.
Yeah. Who clean their trash receptacles? They just come pick the trash up, but who sprays them out? Who cleans them? Right. Put some flyers in their mailboxes. We clean trash can. $20 a trash can. Right. Go in there, spray the trash can. These are young kids' businesses they can start.
Understand.
You know
that
what I mean?
They
can boom into anything.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Boom into anything. You know what I'm saying? So let's brainstorm some of these ideas.
So we're going to end with Ken. We're going to set a date for him to come back with us. I'm sorry, Mr. Kenneth Thomas. All right. No, better otherwise known. Mr. W known as Ken. Brother, I mean, it's been real. When we did our show with El Hecto H Donuts.
Yeah, my God.
And you had seen it. That's your guy. Mm-hmm. He said the same thing about you. He said, you need to get him on there. And I'm glad I met you. Yeah. I know the same people. We family. I know all your family and your friends, and that's how it is in Steubenville, like you said. And but what I want to do is when you come back, I want to talk about your grind now, your business, your position that you're going to be holding. And I definitely want to start talking about you seeing Robbie, Kevin, and them guys. Me and Elder Jet was up in Columbus. We did a Mike and Mike live with Chucky.
Oh, okay.
Buster.
Yeah.
And Kevin.
My people.
And we did the whole show. We did it in Chucky's basement. He got 4 or 5 lounges.
Oh, yeah. I've been down there.
Yeah. And we did the show. We set it up and everything. We still got the video, right?
Yeah.
I think it's still on her. But the volume was bad. And it's in and out.
Yeah.
Only parts of it. Man, I'm going to regret that forever. It's going to be probably a thing we can never end up recreating. I hope we can. But the hospitality that Steubenville showed up for Steubenville. Yeah. And we had a great time. We laughed and joked and talked. We should be doing stuff like that more often. Yeah. But like you said, this platform is to try to get these things done. Tell these stories. Nobody's this isn't about the most important person. This is about anybody's important.
Right.
I've learned how important you are in our community. I've learned something about Robbie. I haven't talked to Robbie in a while. Me and Robbie coached together. Our kids grew up together. Yeah. Like every time we see each other is love and we got mutual respect.
Yeah.
But I had lost, we lose track of each other.
Yeah.
We need to stop doing that.
Yeah.
We need to holler. We got social media to keep in touch, to know what each other's doing. Yeah. There's people that I know that he could do the same thing he did for you.
Right.
That now you can do for.
Right.
And and that's the goal. That's the goal.
So
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you
having me on.
Yes, sir. We're going to do it again. We're going to set that time. Hopefully, Madam Producer, I said we're going to have to try to become more mobile.
Yeah.
Like I used to, but I used to just do it on my phone.
Yeah.
They end up turning out good. We can probably still duplicate that. But I wanted to have a base. I wanted to have people can come in and do multiple shows.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to set this platform.
Well, my whole family here, man. I'm back and forth. So
so we'll set it up. So you guys, if you got anything in the comments, the next time we're going to do a Facebook Live.
Okay.
Because this wasn't correct. This wasn't live. Next time we'll do a Facebook Live so people can comment and we can answer questions.
Okay.
For anybody that's watching.
For sure, I love that.
So again, Mr. Kenneth Thomas, appreciate you. And I appreciate all you guys for listening. Please, Mac TV, subscribe to Mac TV, get all of the content that we're going to be producing and putting out there. We're going to be on Facebook Live or on Instagram. So tune in to us, watch all the interviews that we have. If you have any questions, comment in there. We get back to you on those comments at times. And all I can say is from Mr. Ken, peace to all of you guys.
Peace.
Jefferson County, 43952, Steubenville, Ohio.
7 years of hardship, seen enough.
Steubenville.
7 years of bullshit, observed enough. 7 years of melodrama burned enough. Seen a lot of sloppy cats bite the dust. 7 years of hardship, seen enough. 7 years of bullshit, observed enough. 7 years of melodrama burned enough. Seen a lot of sloppy cats bite the dust. 7 years of hardship, seen enough. 7 years of bullshit, observed enough. 7 years of melodrama burned enough. Seen a lot of sloppy cats bite the dust. 7 years of hardship, seen enough. 7 years of bullshit, observed enough. 7 years of melodrama burned enough. Seen a lot of sloppy cats bite the dust.